You know, I've been listening to the latest Dragoncast podcast, and the Lore You Should Know segment discussed unique Warlock patrons. It got me thinking about patrons and their machinations that a Warlock at my table, who hasn't really defined his patron yet, might have a mad pact with. So, what pacts have you or one of your PCs made? Leave it down in the comments below. Us D&D players can never really get enough. Whether you play 3 times a week or once a month, part of you always craves more. We get our fix however we can, by watching short stories online, D&D live streams, Baldur's Gate. Well, allow me to offer you something new. The best available follows a party of new adventurers trying to make a name for themselves in hopes of being sponsored in a competition. Waterdeep's Festival of Heroes, which sees the chosen parties delving into the depths of Undermountain, risking life and limb to suppress the evils and monsters below to protect the city above. The dungeon of the Mad Mage is filled with danger, treasure, glory, and mysteries yet to be revealed. Come watch the journey from humble beginnings into heroic legend as we adapt a campaign years in the making into an illustrated web series with art from Doodle Poodle, author of Tales from the Tables. We pride ourselves in converting hours-long sessions into smoothly paced episode with limited animation, music, blood, sweat, and tears. Get in on the ground floor of something great and join the Forever DMs table today. Link in the description. Now personally, I like the Arch Fay patron for the Warlock. It's kind of mysterious. I've never thought about a precise personality for the patron itself, but I'd like to think of it as an arch satyr. He likes jokes, adventures, collector of musical instruments, that sort of thing. The first thing to say is the selection of the patron doesn't define your alignment necessarily. You can have a pact with a powerful fiend, but still you can be a good person. Check the Aaron Evans novels. Then you can ask the player this question: who is your patron and what does he, she, or it want? The player might lie about this according to his or her agenda. The player's role-playing should go around the patron and his or her influence on the character. The most detailed I got with a Warlock patron, which isn't saying much, is an NPC that I've made. He was supposed to be a helper, but the stereotypical creepy Warlock. He had a great old one patron who was out for human blood in particular. In my setting, human souls were used to forge the angels. So, human blood was the only thing that could satiate it. When this NPC failed to get sacrifices for a while, the patron attacked the party through this guy. What I didn't plan on was one of the PCs taking up the pact to stop the patron. I have a fighter who is just about to make a pact with a sentient weapon that he is wielding. I don't necessarily have any info on what kind of pact it will be, as I have not yet in our latest game had the chance to forge the pact. But, to say something about it, it collected a soul of an ancient evil prior, and in our latest game unleashed and consumed the soul and fired a gargantuan laser at a godlike creature. Think of Chrono Trigger and Frog with the Masamune. Great reference, and my favorite game ever. Weapon is growing stronger every time we fight a major boss fight, and recently just started to speak. So, in game sense, Hexblade patron of some sort remains to be seen in the future. My Warlock, Arazel, was the daughter of a Hathran witch who failed to manifest any magical talents to the displeasure of her mother, who had received portents and prophecies that her daughter would become a powerful witch. Her mother enrolled her into the new Rashimi Secret Service and gifted her with a mask. It was during Arazel's training that she met a mysterious Arch Fay, who requested that Arazel refer to her as patron, for names have power and true names should only be revealed when the recipient is ready. Arazel was sent away on a mission in the guise of a traveling librarian. She had not revealed her magic to her mother at this time. After meeting up with an adventuring party, she helped them before returning home to reveal that she was now a woman of power, worthy of the mask she had been given. Her mother was overjoyed that Arazel was to become initiated into the mysteries and gave her a family heirloom, the Rod of Ancient Days, Rod of the Pact Keeper +2, which, to her mother's amazement, manifested power as soon as it was handed to Arazel. The mysterious Arch Fay patron was allied with Fate and later revealed herself to be Lazaire, the Lady of Time and Shadow. The future, past, ultimate self of Arazel. It had been necessary for Lazaire to conceal her true identity, as she has many other warlocks called Arazel in different planes and times, and at least one has tried to survive to perform the rituals of apotheosis and ascension to become Fay, an Arch Fay. The remaining warlocks perform a vital function, anchoring essential points in time and shadow, working for fate and other Arch Fay, all towards the multifaceted plans of Lazaire. My main character was a demonic pact that he rallied against since it was the family business. He doesn't know the specific patron, but the DM had his brother, who embraced the power, show up as one of our many character-driven antagonists that dropped hints so that I could solve it. Of course, then one of our other characters did something so world-changingly magnificent that it has been imparted to me. There has been a reshuffling, so who once owned that pact is now unknown, and the brother, ? Not quite so in favor anymore. This character also ended up with the Undying Light. After he got his soul back via Soulstone, there was no way to fully protect it from demons, his family getting it back using the same ritual that he did. Along comes a dragon, with a way to shield his soul using the Undying Light, in exchange for 10 years of service. I know the name of this golden dragon, and coinciding with our group's shrinking, our missions becoming more political and social in nature. Obviously, the Undying Light isn't the dragon, but that access was good enough to reintroduce an interesting, rather infuriating, NPC as my patron. There was a brief game where another player in a seafaring campaign had a guild merchant background. So they decided their female warlock got the Arch Fay pact because she was married into the Arch Fay's family to secure the trade alliance. She had, being so clever, won her dominance in the marriage and kept his power as a reminder that this Fey Lord can't remarry and has lost status among the court to a mortal. That's actually kinda hot. The player knew the husband's name but kept it a secret except to the DM, but there was a low-level tension as her husband was stewing and obviously plotting against her, and therefore the party. Sadly, we never got to see that one resolve. I think it would have been rather fun. A friend is playing a goblin using a homebrew Fungal Lord pact, serving the Fungus Queen, Zugtmoy. She absolutely loves it, and the unique flavors that she gets to give Warlock spells. Hunger of Hadar involves a lot of writhing, mushroom caps, and though she has no direct communication with Zugtmoy, the signs of the fungus inspire her character on what to do and how to live her life, which may or may not have led to us all running from hordes of undead and a beholder. Okay, it was definitely May, and it was hilarious. For my recent homebrew campaign, I used the Fiend patron, but renamed it to be a secret society, known as the Magitech Coalition. I reflavored all my Warlock spells to be technological manifestations of magic, declaring him to be a technomancer. No mechanical changes, but it certainly makes for an interesting character. He doesn't have any real magical ability himself, mind you, but his Magitech tricks allow him to appear that he does. But his technology comes directly from the Coalition, so what I guess you could say is that he's on something of a technological leash. Basically, my guy, Quentin Danza, is a special agent of the Coalition called one of the Magitech Bloodhounds. The Coalition was hired by the Kingdom to investigate the disappearance of something potentially embarrassing to the royal family, but to be discreet about it, and so they sent Dancer in as one of their agents. I've been waiting to play a Warlock that has someone from the Far Realm as a patron, but who is trying to stop the Far Realm from spilling over. I might make him an NPC for the group I DM, though. I'm working with a Warlock who homebrewed his own patron using Moradin. He has a backstory where the character was a child and being used in a ceremony to access Moradin so the god's enemies could harm him in some way. And the child was hit with the spark from Moradin's forge and accidentally became a Warlock. He is dual classing as a cleric so he can play it off, but he did rename a bunch of the existing Warlock features and basically uses them together. Right now, he's having a change in his pact from Pact of the Blade to Pact of the Tome, all due to Moradin's desire that he teach and learn more than fight. I've got an NPC that the party is dealing with that has the Great Old One patron. That Great Old One, however, is an Illithid Elder Brain. This is the biggest and oldest Elder Brain in the ruins of what was once a huge metropolis. PCs and the world doesn't even know that it exists yet. It's going to be a lot of fun revealing that to them, and all through this NPC and others. I'm working on a new character who wanted to be a wizard, but was excluded from formal magic study. Illegitimate half-elf of noble house, you know, they're uptight. He was apprenticed in a great library instead, where he skulked and pried in search of any knowledge of the arcane that he could get his grubby little hands on. Eventually, he discovers a hidden book of family history, which looks very, very ordinary. He almost puts it back, but notices a family tree with his great-grandfather's name crossed out, and a mysterious note mentioning how he was outcast for dabbling in the dark secrets that he uncovered in distant lands. Curiosity killed the cat as he turns to the entry for his great-grandfather, and when he looks into the eyes of this portrait, he feels a strange jolt of energy and an awareness that he is being watched. Unnerved, he puts the book down and leaves, only to discover it waiting by his bedside the next morning, after a series of disturbing dreams. When he opens the book this time, the contents have changed, revealing an incomplete diary of his great-grandfather with a message addressed to one of my worthy descendants, whom he hopes will continue his work. At the end are a few instructions for a few simple spells. In short, my character makes a pact with a Great Old One through his family history, perhaps inheriting the curse of continuing to serve its ambitions, but he believes he is learning elven magic through his family bloodline. I plan to go Pact of the Tome and get the Book of Secrets invocation. So I'm using the book as his connection to his powers. I had originally planned to go with the Arch Fay as a family bloodline thing, but sort of introduced that thematically while going for the goo abilities. I'm also thinking of Tom Riddle's diary in Harry Potter, where the book reveals new writing as he progresses. That was the first thing that I thought of, was Tom Riddle's diary, and I was going to mention that, but I'm glad you did instead. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and down below in the comments, let us know what packs have you or one of your PCs made. And the more the merrier if you've actually created your own patron, or thematically changed them from something already existing in D&D, Pathfinder, or your other TTRPG flavor of choice lore. We love you all, see you next time, and toodaloo for now.